So good morning everyone. In today's class we are going to discuss the another classification of physical quantity. We have already seen fundamental and derived quantity. Now there is another classification of this physical quantity. This physical quantity can be classified into three types. In class 9th it is taught only two types, but the third type I will discuss also in this lecture. So first physical quantity is scalar, second is vector, and third, which is not mentioned in your books, that is a tensor quantity. So what is a scalar quantity? Those physical quantity having magnitude only. Those physical quantity having magnitude only is known as scalar quantity. As example, mass, length, time, work, speed, energy, distance, power, specific heat, electric potential, mechanical advantage, frequency, charge, density, etc. These are all examples of scalar quantity. So first question comes in your mind, why this is scalar quantity? Because suppose guys, if we say 5 kg, so by saying 5 kg it complete defines the term mass, because 5 is the unit and 5 is numeric value and kg is SI unit. So I have written in terms of NU, this is a physical quantity, and 5 kg itself defined that 5 kg of anything, like 5 kg of mango, 5 kg of potato, like that. So scalar quantity does not require any other thing to be expressed completely. So numeric value is the value, like if I write 5 meter, so this length of a cloth is 5 meter, so this is enough to define the length. 5 second, this is enough to define this thing. So these are the quantity which has magnitude only. Now you have to remember one point here, scalar is a pure number, like scalar, suppose some scalar which is a pure number like pi, e square, these are also scalar, but this having no unit, having no unit. So we have understood that scalar are those physical quantity having magnitude only. There are some scalars like constant, which is pi or e square, which cannot be expressed in terms of unit, so they having no unit at all. So these are the things which we have to understand in physical quantity, in this scalar quantity. Now one thing I want to add here, scalar quantity can be added, subtracted, or multiply by some simple rule of algebra or arithmetic. Addition, subtraction, and multiplication is valid here for a scalar. So I am writing, it obeys, or it can be added, scalar quantity, it can be added, subtracted, multiply, and divided by simple arithmetic, by simple arithmetic methods or algebraic methods, I can say, or simple algebraic methods you can use to add, subtract, divide, or multiply the scalar. Now guys, those physical quantity having magnitude as well as direction, but it cannot be added by vector, like it can be simply added by this arithmetic additions or algebraic addition, comes under the category of tensor quantity. So tensor are those physical quantity having magnitude, direction, but it cannot be added by special rule, which is vector algebra. So how we can add it? We can add it simple arithmetic methods or simple algebra I can use to add this tensor. So tensor are those quantity which can be simply added by algebra or arithmetic methods of addition, subtraction, or multiplication. But this, what is the difference between this scalar and tensor? Since this scalar has no direction sense, but it has direction also. So one thing, if I add in scalar like direction, it becomes a tensor quantity. Now, examples of tensor quantities: moment of inertia, which you will read in rotational dynamics topic. We will discuss this thing in rotation. Pressure, electric current, these all are examples of tensor quantity. Now, this topic is all about vectors. So what is vector? Those physical quantity having magnitude and direction both. Usually this is written in class 9th book, but it is not complete definition of vector, because this is a tensor. If physical quantity having magnitude and direction, that is a tensor quantity. But here what is the speciality of this? It can be added, but it can be added by vector law of addition. The thing is that you will not use simple algebra here. You cannot say that here 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. This is not applicable in vector until unless they are not in the same direction. So what you will say that if 3 vector and 4 vector are along same direction, then you can write only. But if I just draw 3 and 4 like this, so resultant will be 5, which is nothing but under root 3 square plus 4 square plus twice into 3 into 4 into cos 90 degree, because angle is cos 90 degree. How this addition comes, I will tell you later, not in today's class, because this is vector addition. So we can use the two laws of vector addition, like triangle laws and parallelogram laws, which we will see later. So guys, we have classified physical quantity into 3 types: scalar, vector and tensor. Scalar are those physical quantity having magnitude only, like mass, length, time, etc. Tensor are those physical quantity having magnitude and direction both, but it cannot added by vector algebra. Like we can add tensor by simple additions or algebraic addition. But the special thing is vector, which has magnitude, direction and can be added by vector law of algebra. What is vector law of algebra? We will discuss in next class. Now guys, examples of vectors are force, velocity, acceleration, momentum, magnetic field, electric field, even angular momentum, torque, displacement, temperature gradient, dipole moment. These all are examples of vector quantity. Now how in this chapter we will totally focused on vectors. So what are the way through which we can represent a vector? There are 2 methods of representation of a vector. One is pictorial representation and second is mathematical representation. What do you mean by pictorial representation? Suppose guys, if I draw a vector like this, so this is arrow head and this is its origin point, or this is initial point. So this is initial point or origination of the vector, and this arrow is termination point or terminal point. So if I represent a vector by an arrow where head of the arrow is the terminal point and tail of the arrow is initial point, this is also known as tail of the arrow, and this is also known as head of the arrow. So a vector starts or initial point is tail and end with heads. So guys, I will tell you what is a pictorial representation. It is represented by an arrow. A vector in pictorial representation can be denoted by an arrow. Length of arrow denotes magnitude of the vector. So this length of arrow denotes magnitude of the vector. And what direction of arrow tells you? Direction of arrow tells you direction of the vector. Suppose I say that 5 Newton. So this 5 tells the magnitude or length of the arrow, actually 5, and this arrow head tells you the direction is towards east. If I represent that east, west, north and south, so direction is towards east. So in pictorial representation we draw an arrow where length of the arrow means this size of the arrow, this length will tells you the magnitude of the vector, and direction of arrow tells the direction of the vector. Suppose guys, if you have to represent 30 unit or 30 meter in a plane of paper. So how you represent this 30 meter? You can say that 30 meter is not possible to represent on my copy, but guys, you can represent whatever the value you want to represent. See how, suppose I say that guys, this is your 5 unit. So 5, take a scale and make a mark of 5 meter. This is 5 unit, where 1 unit is of 6 meter per second, or 1 unit is of 6 meter. So I can say that if 1 unit of 6 meter, 5 units of 30 meter na? So with the help of this arrow I can represent 30 meter, or 30 meter per second, or 30 meter per second square. So this is the arrow significance. So this is one way to represent this vector, which is pictorial representation. So in pictorial representation, a vector can be represented by an arrow. Length of the arrow represents the magnitude of the vector, and this direction of the arrow tells you the direction of the vector. Now what is mathematical representation of a vector? If I want to represent a vector mathematically, I will represent vector A. See, this is the symbol of representation of vector. A vector can be represented by A. Over that A I will put an arrow. This is vector A. If you see this type of representation like this guys, this is representation of vector A. Or in some books you may also find like in Irodov, if you will see that they have not given arrow, they have given bold letters to represent the vector. So in some book like Irodov or anything else, they have given bold letter to represent the vector and a small letter to represent the scalar quantity. But usually you will see a vector, over that arrow cap is there. So this is vector representation of A. So what is mathematical representation of a vector? A arrow is equal to a vector can be written a angle theta. What is this a angle theta guys? Where a represents the magnitude of the vector. Here length of the arrow was representing the magnitude na? And here this a is representing the magnitude, and the arrow head is representing the direction na? Here angle theta will represent the direction. Like I tell you that guys, suppose if you want to represent a vector 10 at an angle 30 degree, so what you will choose? You will choose x-axis and y-axis, and you will represent a vector of magnitude 10 and angle 30 degree. Keep in mind guys, this angle is always taken from reference x-axis and in anti-clockwise direction. Don't confuse the direction. Some students take the direction clockwise. This is wrong guys. This is not the way to represent a vector. So always represent a vector with respect to x-axis, and angle is taken in anti-clockwise order. So I have written x-axis is the reference, anti-clockwise is the sense of direction. So this direction is anti-clockwise sense like this. So this is 10 angle 30 degree. Now the next thing about vector is the classification of the vector. Here I have done at least 12 to 13 classification of vector. This you cannot find in a single book, but if you read all the books sequentially, you will find these are the types of the vector. So very first vector I am taking like vector. These vector having same direction, or the vector having same sense of direction are known as like vector. Like guys, I have represented this. This is a special case of like vector when these vectors are parallel, and this is also known as parallel vector. But it is not only that guys, all parallel vector is only like vector. This is also a like vector. This is also why this is like vector, because they have same direction. Both is pointing towards east. So this is like vector. So this is also a like vector. This is unlike vector guys. So if I just take this as this vector will be unlike vector. So which we are going to represent in the next. So like vectors are those vectors having same direction. Only sense of direction you have to take. Nothing, magnitude has nothing to do. It may be of equal in magnitude, maybe opposite, maybe of different in magnitude, but those vectors having same sense of direction are said to be like vector. These vector having opposite direction or opposite sense with respect to each other are termed as unlike vector. So if we are representing the vector, this is one to so represent towards east and this is towards west, so they are said to be unlike vector. They may be like this, or last what we have represented, this may be unlike vector. Okay, so this may be unlike vector. Now between like and unlike, one difference I want to tell you, that like vector has same sense of direction, unlike vector has opposite sense of direction. Okay, magnitude has nothing to do with this like and unlike vector. Now equal vector, two or more vector are said to be equal when they have same magnitude as well as direction also. So if I am representing this vector, let it be a be a vector having the sense of direction towards east and cg a vector having the sense of direction towards east, and both are of same magnitude, which is 2 unit and 2 unit, then they are said to be equal vectors. So two or more vector are said to be equal when their magnitude is equal and also their direction is same. So magnitude must be equal and direction must be same. Now co-initial vector. So guys, if you not able to define this term co means common. Whenever the term co will come in this definition of the vector, that is common. So co-initial point, these vector or the vector which have same starting point is called co-initial vector. I told you guys, this is the starting point of the vector, this is or initial point of the vector, this is terminus point of the vector or terminal point of the vector. So co-initial vector are those vector having same starting point. So I'm just representing that this arrow, a OA vector, OB vector, OC vector. So here OA, OB and OC are co-initial vector because their initial point or starting point or origin means is same, or that's why OA, OB and OC are co-initial vectors. Similarly guy, I can represent the another type of vector is coterminous vector. So what is coterminous vector? Same definition says that co means common, terminus means terminal point. Two or vectors are said to be coterminous vector if they have common terminal point. If common terminal or common terminating or common final point, you can say that. So here AB, CD and EF are coterminous vector, are coterminous vector because their end point or the terminal point are same, so they are called coterminous vectors. So up to this we have discussed about like vector, same sense of direction, unlike vector, opposite sense of direction, equal vector, magnitude and direction both same, co-initial vector, co means common, initial point is same, that is co-initial vector, and co-terminus vector, that is final point is same or terminal point is same. Now guys, collinear vector. Co means same or common, linear means along a line. Two or more vector are said to be collinear if, this point is very important to note, I have given two conditions for this collinear vector. If they act along the same line, that is why collinear itself represent. But one thing where student usually do a mistake, this second point, that's why I've given 3 star to this second point, they act along a parallel line also. If they act along a parallel line, then also they are called as collinear vector, or they act along the same line, they are also known as collinear vector. Suppose guys, I have represented this as, this acts along the same line, collinear, acts along the same line, even collinear, no matter they are opposite or same sense of direction, they are collinear vector guys. Okay, even these are collinear vector and these are also collinear vectors. So student usually confuse that, if they have given 4 options, they confuse that this is collinear vector or not. So this is also collinear vector. So now guys, in detail I am telling you, collinear vector can be classified into two types, parallel vector and anti-parallel vector. So this what we have represented, this is parallel collinear vector and this is anti-parallel collinear vector. So parallel and anti-parallel collinear vector you should know like this. What is the difference between collinear and parallel and like vector? This is also a like vector, but this may not be parallel to each other. This may be unlike vector, but they need not be anti-parallel to each other. Okay guys, so anti-parallel and parallel are a special type of this collinear vector, you have to keep in mind. So the two definition of collinear vector: two or more vector are said to be collinear if they are acting along the same line or they act along parallel line. So this parallel and anti-parallel vectors are categories of collinear vector, you have to keep in mind. Next is coplanar vector. It is two or more, actually not better to write 2 by, because no two vector can be coplanar vector. Three or more vector are said to be coplanar if they lie on the same plane. Why I have mentioned 3 or more coplanar vector, guys? But because if I take any two vector, they must be coplanar. If two vectors I am talking about, any two vectors, suppose you are saying this vector and this vector, this may be coplanar. If I am taking this plane of a board or plane of this screen as my plane, so this is coplanar vector. So any two vector are coplanar, but 3 or more vector are said to be coplanar if they lies along the same plane. So guys, all if scalar product, they are coplanar vector. A coplanar vector, you have to keep in mind all for two vectors. Why I have not written, guys? Because all the two vectors, if I am representing, they are coplanar always. So these two, so you can also write the definition of two or more vectors, because there is no problem. So two vectors are all, if you are taking two vectors, they are always coplanar. So for 3 or more vector is said to be coplanar only if they lies along the same plane. So guys, it is not necessary that 3 vector lies along the same plane. Suppose one is lying along xy plane, other is also lying along xy plane, but third is lying along yz plane. So they may not be coplanar. So 2 or more vectors are said to be coplanar if they lie along the same plane. So in order to make you understand this coplanar vector, I have taken this condition, which you will understand better when I will discuss this dot product of a vector. If the scalar triple product of any 3 vectors is 0, if you have given 3 vector and you calculate scalar triple product, what is scalar triple product? If you calculate A dot B cross C or A cross B dot C, if this result is coming 0, guys, if this is coming 0, they are said to be coplanar vector. I will tell you how this when I will tell you cross product and dot product. After that, this coplanar vector you will understand better. So you should understand that for 2 or more vector said to be coplanar, they must lie along the same plane. So always you say any two vector, if you choose, they must be coplanar. So if you will discuss 3 or more vector, so you will have to apply the condition that they must follow the scalar triple product. If any 3 vectors are linearly dependent, then they are also coplanar. So I have taken one example which you may not understood right now, but definitely you will understand after some time. So I have taken u vector 3 comma k comma minus 6, v is equal to minus 2 1 k plus 3, and w is equal to 1 k plus 2 and 4. This is IT JEE type question, guys. This is IT JEE type question. This is not asked in physics, this is asked in mathematics. So what are the condition? So these vector are coplanar. U for u vector, v vector and w being coplanar, you have to find the condition. Being coplanar, you have to find the value of k. So guys, actually for coplanar vector, determinant, you have to make a determinant. 3 cross 3 determinant is, if the 3 cross 3 determinant result is equal to 0, they are said to be coplanar vector. So I have written that how you can solve this 3 cross 3 determinant. Let it be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I am taking one example so that you can understand this one. So first of all, guys, you should know that what are the sign when you are using to solve the determinant. This is actually row R1, this is row R2, this is row R3, this is C1, this is C2, this is C3. So sign 1 is minus 1 to the power row plus column. Suppose this is first row first column, minus 1 to the power 1 plus 1. This sign is positive, this sign is negative, positive, and alternate you can write negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So if I want to solve this determinant, I will take first A, guys, and then multiply E into I minus F into H. So along with sign I will write minus B. Minus B if I am writing, guys, so you have to leave these things, because when I have written A, I left these things. I have taken A E I minus HF. So when I am writing B, I will leave these two things. I will take DI minus FG. So I am writing DI. This is nothing but DI minus FG. And when I am writing plus C, I have to just close this 2. So DH minus EG. So DH minus EG. So this is the way to solve this determinant. So see what I have done here. I have taken 3, guys. I have taken 3 here, and I have taken this 1, 4 and K, this matrix. So 1 into 4 and K 3, K plus 3 into K plus 2. Minus K I have taken, minus K I have taken this vector. Minus 2, K plus 3, minus 1 and 4. I have taken this vector. Now plus of minus 6 I have taken, minus 2, 1, 1, K plus 2. I will teach you these things in class after completion of motion topic, so don't bother. So the value of K will minus 2 and K is equal to 6. So this is the answer for this value. These vectors are said to be coplanar. Unit vector, most important vector I will mention here in physics and used mostly. This is unit vector. A vector is said to be unit vector if its magnitude is unity. So if, what is the sense if we have magnitude is unity, but it is very useful to finding the direction of a vector. So it gives the direction of a vector in space. Suppose, guys, I have taken this x, y, z axis, this x axis, this y axis, z axis. So any unit vector taken along x axis, I am writing any unit vector taken along x axis, will be represented by I cap. Suppose, guys, I have taken distance 3 along x axis, so this can be written as 3 I cap. So any vector taken along y axis can be represented as j cap. Any vector taken along z axis can be represented as k cap. Suppose, guys, I have taken a point 3, 4, 5. That means along x axis 3, y axis 4 and z axis 5. So this is 3 I cap, 4 j cap and 5 k cap. So this is actually 3 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 5 k cap. Let I have taken a vector A. Can you tell me, guys, is this unit vector or not? Your answer is definitely not. Why? Because magnitude of a vector is under root of, the magnitude of this vector is under root of 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square. Since these vectors are mutually perpendicular, so I have written magnitude as 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square, which is root 50. So this is not a unit vector. So how any vector can be represented as unit vector? Suppose, guys, if this vector A, I will divide its magnitude. What will happen if you see carefully? If I divide this vector A like 3 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 5 k cap divided by root 50, so this will gives you unit vector. So you will see that 3 by 50 I cap, 4 by 50 j cap and 5 by root 50. 3 by root 50 I cap, 4 by root 50 j cap, 5 by root 50 k cap. This is a unit vector, because magnitude, if you will calculate, 3 by root 50 whole square plus 4 by root 50 whole square plus 5 by root 50 whole square. If you calculate these things, unity magnitude will come. So this is unit vector. So you have to keep in mind a unit vector A can be represented as A vector by mod of A vector. Okay, this always keep in mind, guys. This is the way to represent a unit vector. Now when I will discuss about dot and cross product, I will tell you I dot I, j dot j, k dot k is 1 and other thing I dot j, j dot k dot I is 0, because I will discuss these things in dot product. So position vector, guys, this is another important factor in physics. A vector which gives position of a point in space with respect to a reference point is position vector. Generally this reference point is taken as origin. So I have taken this, guys, x and y axis. This is my x axis, this is y axis. So I have represented I have just reached up to 3 along x axis and 4 along y axis. So this position vector is can be written as 3 I cap plus 4 j cap, because along x axis if I am moving, this is I cap, along y axis if I am moving, that is j cap. So 3 I cap plus 4 j cap is the representation of this position vector. Now you have to keep one thing in mind, guys. Position vector can also be represented in magnitude and angle form. So if I want to represent this magnitude and angle form, so what you have to do, magnitude of this vector, you know that they are mutually perpendicular. So magnitude of this vector is nothing but under root 3 square plus 4 square, which is nothing but 25 under root, which is 5. So that is magnitude of this vector, and angle is tan inverse y by x. Y component is the component of j cap upon the component of I cap. So that is why I have written tan inverse 4 by 3. And you should know that if this triangle I will make, guys, so in this triangle, if this is actually 37 degree, you have to keep in mind this is 3, 4 and 5. So this is 37 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 53 degree. So you can find here tan 53 degree is nothing but 4 by 3. This triangle you have to keep in mind for physics. Okay, the triangle 37 degree, 3, 4 and 5, or 53 degree, 3, 4 and 5, like this. Okay, now displacement vector. Suppose we have two position vector. Let it be I have 2 point in space. The point is A and the point is B. A is this vector, which is coordinate I have taken A 2,6 and B I have taken 8,9. So these are the two position vector. So if I have to walk from A to B, this is A is my initial position and B is my final position. So if I join A to B, this is my displacement vector. So this vector which I have represented here is my displacement vector. So displacement vector, how you will write, I will tell you when I will tell you the scalar the vector addition. That is the first form of written triangle law of addition. When I discuss triangle law of addition, I definitely discuss this vector RA plus this vector, let it be displacement vector, I name it as displacement vector RD is equal to RB. So R displacement vector can be written as, guys, RB minus RA. That is final position vector minus initial position vector gives you displacement vector. And you know that, guys, definition of displacement as we'll discuss in today's class. So you will understand what is displacement and how it is difference between initial and final and initial point. So displacement vector is RA minus RB. So RB minus RA, because B is final position, this is final position vector minus initial position vector. I have written PV as position vector, guys. This in short form I can also write PV position vector, initial position vector and final position vector. If you know, so difference of these two vector means final position vector minus initial position vector is displacement vector. Now, guys, negative of a vector. For a given vector, if we keep the magnitude same but reverses their direction, is said to be negative of a vector. If I am taking the vector A like this, but I just reverses this direction, not in magnitude. Suppose the magnitude is 5, this I kept 5. So this vector B is said to be negative of a vector A. Now, guys, last is 0 vector. So the vector having 0 in magnitude and no sense of direction, that is actually 0 vector or null vector. Null vector direction cannot be determined with certainty. Its direction may be along the direction of application of the force. Okay, so direction is actually unknown, or you can say that direction you can choose according to the problem given. This we will discuss later. So when we add two vectors of equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, suppose guys one vector is, suppose I have applied a force of 5 Newton right side and 5 Newton left side. So guys, what is the resultant on this block? So you can say that 5 along this I am taking positive, so this will be negative, so this is 0. This 0 is not 0 guys, this is 0 vector. So resultant of these two vector is 0 vector. Now and direction you cannot determine with certainty here. So what are the some properties of 0 vector? Any vector if added with 0 vector, that will be same vector. If sum of two vectors is 0, they must be anti-parallel to each other. Suppose I am saying that these two vectors sum is 0, so they are anti-parallel vectors to each other. Now if sum of three vectors is 0, they must be coplanar. So this is the first lecture of vector, in which we have discussed what is the types of physical quantity and types of vector. So in next class we are going to discuss what are the laws of vector additions and all these things. So thank you everyone.